Hi. I have some notes in front of me, so if you see me look away from the camera a bit, I hope that you'll forgive me. I have an announcement that I'd like to make, and I have an important message that I'd like to convey, and I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim McKewon. I am the face of mental illness, and I am also a suicide attempt survivor. But I'm also the face of heart, the face of strength, and the face of hope. I no longer run or hide from my mental illness. I do the opposite. I accept my illness as my partner in life. I lean into my shadow, and I bring light into that darkness. About 8 years ago, my brother invited me on a bike ride. He knew I was searching for something that would evoke a passion in my life, that would get me to look outward rather than just dwelling or spiraling inward. I had no idea that getting on that bike that day would change my life. I had no idea that I would later go on to ride over 900 miles a month. So as a way to honor this life-saving discovery, and more importantly, as a way to help bring hope to others and with luck to save other lives, I've decided to take on an epic cycling challenge and raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, an organization for which I proudly serve on the board. I'm taking on the Everest challenge. I will ride one hill repeatedly on September the 26th, riding up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, stopping only briefly until I have climbed the equivalent of the elevation of Mount Everest, 29,029 feet. This will by far be the most challenging endeavor I've ever undertaken physically, and the hardest thing I've endured mentally since those times when my depression and suicidal thoughts were so painful and scary that I couldn't even get out of bed. For many of us who struggle with mental illness, we find ourselves paralyzed by constant negative thinking, self-doubt, and self-loathing. We make small obstacles seem huge and unmovable. We take small difficulties and project the bleakest and most hopeless of outcomes. It's never going to be the best case, only the worst case. And it's not that it's our fault. We have mental illness. I used to run away from anything risky or challenging because the possibility of failure was just too much for me. I've made a lot of progress, but this journey has no end, and that's okay. It's a continuous process. The Everest challenge makes me feel both scared and strong, and that's natural. Even saying this out loud to each of you is a challenge for me because it means I'm all in. I know there will be some very dark times on the bike throughout this process, and there will be some amazingly bright ones. This challenge is a metaphor for my journey with mental illness. I have found that accomplishing small things is really accomplishing the big things, and those accomplishments build on each other. And as I ride each lap, I will be adding up the miles and the elevation gain, going through a full range of emotions and physical sensations over this very long day. But at the end, I know I will turn around and realize that I've climbed a mountain, a real one and a spiritual one. My goal is to raise funds for a cause so important to so many of us and to bring hope to others. I'm not trying to beat any records. I'm trying to climb this mountain. I would be so grateful for your support in my attempt and to consider a donation of any size if you are able to. Thank you for listening.